Aging is a myth. The actual chronological number that is attached to your identity, your identification card, that little number. There are so many myths around aging. I'm Prajna O'Hara, and I have become very interested in the idea of aging in our culture, what that actually means. I mean, to me, many times I'm told that, oh, you do not look your age, or what is your secret? Because I'm actually going to add one more year to my life tomorrow. I'll be 65. And I'm quite proud of that because I don't hook onto the number, that chronological number, which might not even align with my physical body. So we have so many ages about us. We have our emotional age, our psychological age, our psychic age, the age of our soul. And does our spirit have an age? Or is that the aspect of us which is ageless and deathless and infinite and contains all things? So when we kind of define ourselves and confine ourselves to just one aspect of who we are, there can be a sense of decline, which is what aging kind of means in our culture, a time of declining, of disappearing, of losing value, of many people feel like they are starting to become a burden. Well, I don't think any of that is true. I think that that's part of the conditioning of our patriarchal and capitalistic culture, and there's so much that goes into what can a person produce, and is our value based on just what we produce, or is our value based on how we appear on the outside? So if you look at somebody on the outside, I just saw this incredible um, little reel this morning on Instagram. I kind of go on there every now and then and look at the reels. And there was this woman, this who apparently looked like an older woman. She had her hair up and she had on an old long dress and a big sweater, and her hair was white. So you would say, oh, this is an older woman. And this was on something like America's Got Talent. And so she comes onto the stage and she starts to derobe herself, take off her sweater. And she's doing it in a very sly, kind of intriguing way. And the judges are like captivated, making these faces, and the audience is intrigued as well. So she continues to derobe herself. And under her sweater is this very slick black top that is tight to her body and revealing much more of her body, her bosom, which is quite nice. And then she's very well shaped. And then she takes off the big skirt and she has this black mini skirt on and this shiny belt and some jewelry and very high black boots. And she has a microphone. And as soon as she takes off her clothes there, is left all in black, she starts, belting it out, this incredible song. And I don't remember the beginning part, but it comes to the place where it goes, oh, what is it? Hell on Fire or something. Oh, I can't even remember it right now, but it will come to me. But anyways, it was just incredible, and the entire audience is clapping for her. Everybody's standing up, and then the reel ended. That was enough, for you to get a feel for this sense that how we appear on the physical outside doesn't really say anything about our age. So energetically, this woman was very young. And then you have very young people who's have this soul age or wisdom age, beyond their years, as if they have been around for a very long time. So it's not the number that attaches to your identity. What is your identity? Like really, when you explore, you do contain a multiplicity of ages, a multiplicity of possibilities that are always available, that never run out. That's like our deciding that it's too late, or I'm too old, or, time has expired and there's some kind of line in the sand that we have now crossed over, and it means everything is downhill from here. Not so, because when you think about the crone, which is something that I'm very interested in, who is an archetype of the woman as she's growing in her years, she is the accumulation of all of the life's lessons that have gone before, and she carries wisdom and knowing and lived experience that you don't gather lived experience when you're just a young girl in the maiden phase, maturing into the mother. So there's this reemergence, reclaiming of the power and the wisdom of the crone, the saging crone, who has so much to offer us, just as through her stories, through her gathering around the fire, for all that she's experienced, whether that be through enchantment, through loss, through love, through engagement, through all the different ways that life unfolds for us. She's gathered all of that experience, and she's probably had several bumps along the road, bruises and bumps, and has her scar tissue and her wrinkles to show that, because wrinkles are like scar tissue. For every wrinkle that we have, that's a memory of a lived experience, of something that carries wisdom and knowledge with it. If we grant ourselves permission to remember that and to share it through our stories. So I'm going to tell you just a couple of things that I always like to remember, as far as being able to, enjoy all of the different years, no matter what year we're in. And that is I'm going to give you 4 things, maybe 5, to allow yourself to continuously be touched by life, which means that we have to go out sometimes. There's times to be really quiet and rest, but to let ourselves be engaged in things that might touch our emotions, like that have meaning, that really, that matter, and then we're engaged emotionally. And this continues to allow us to develop emotionally. So that to touch and to be touched. So that keeps our heart open. It keeps us expanded. It keeps our emotional intelligence engaged and alive. And it, like life gets to continue to move through us in the front and in the back. That we don't need to hold on to anything. We can allow something to touch us, inform us, and let it move through us. And then listen for what is the teaching in that. How have I been informed? Let those heart muscles keep working. And then the second one is to nourish your body, to let yourself detox from the things that don't nourish your body. Like, find out, what is it that makes your body feel strong, feel healthy? What kind of foods, what kind of liquids, water, what kind of movement, being out in nature, letting your feet get into the earth. Maybe being at the ocean, the seaside, listening to the birds, listening to the, what we have here, the sea lions. Just being in this sense of the nourishment in your body, like with all the other bodies of life, the elements. Let yourself be nourished and connect there. And then keep exposing your mind to things that interest you, that can educate you. Like, I know that in my own life, that sometimes in our patriarchal culture, we go through these different tracks of education, schooling, thoughts, that school us in a particular way. Catholic school, parochial school, public school, or maybe some of us had the opportunity for homeschooling, which opens that track up a little bit wider. And there's religious education, there's philosophical education, there's all the different tracks of higher education. Yeah, and sometimes those tracks can feel very narrow. And then I know there's certain time we have these cross disciplines. Our disciplines start to open up and cross, and we can learn from these different disciplines. But I realized that for a very long time, the way that I was educated was always through the mind or the learnings or the voices or the experience of the male dominant culture, which didn't include the experiences of a woman. So in midlife, somewhere in there, I don't know, in my 30s, somewhere, I started to get exposed to feminist thought and women leaders. And there's more and more of that emerging all over the place. And I began to learn, even, and still I'm unpacking, unlearning things that don't really apply to me, don't really apply to many people, and learning about what is it to be a woman in a woman's body, with everything that we are. We carry, we have a womb, we have different lived experience, we have different opportunities. And so to educate yourself more and more on all of the different aspects of who it is to be a human being, or whatever it is you're interested in, to keep the mind engaged and educated. And then the fourth one I want to give you is what nourishes your soul. To find the activities that engage your soul, feed your soul, that are medicine to your soul. And you know how, for me, anyways, that you can tell when your soul is being nourished, receiving medicine, that there's a really deep sense of satisfaction and rest. And there's a quietude that doesn't feel compulsive, like I need to get more, like that was really great. Yeah, it was really great. But there isn't this rush to get more of it. It's like there's a trust inside that, there's like a coming into balance. There's a coming into sacred reciprocity because our souls understand sacred reciprocity. And that when we receive, we allow ourselves opportunity to assimilate and digest and being really deeply nourished. And then we give back. And so that there's time in that sense of feeling and being nourished and listening for, how do I give back? I just received something really beautiful from the land or from a person or from a plant, from a soul medicine, something really touched deep in the soul. And then how do I give back? And this is the coming into balance. This is the sacred reciprocity of giving and receiving and staying in the middle and really honoring the wholeness that you are and the wholeness of our planet, that is coming into greater balance. So that's probably enough for now. This may end up on my YouTube channel. So if it does and you enjoy my messages, please subscribe and continue to, if you click notifications, you'll know when I go live. And I do plan to offer more. So my website is prajnaohara.com. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day. Happy birthday to you every day.